Now let's move a little ahead towards today's theme, Nari Shakti. Women have always had to struggle to be seen and heard. I believe the audience would actually agree with me on that one. And technology has always been looked upon as a man's world. And hence, the next topic that we chose was to help break this stereotypical mentality. Now, the topic, breaking barriers in STEM, refers to the efforts and actions taken to overcome challenges that have historically limited the participation and success of women or other groups in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I would now like to introduce the next two speakers for this session, both women of exceptional caliber and achievements. I'm honored to first welcome Jyoti Thakral, the Senior Engagement Manager at EXL Services. Jyoti comes with more than 18 years of experience across banking, retail, and contact center analytics that covers credit risk analytics, loss forecasting, predictive modeling, commercial risk reporting, marketing analytics, model validation, and documentation. She's worked with brands like Dunnhumby and Teleperformance prior to joining EXL and has presented research papers while also solving the CECL Riddle through risk analytics at IIMA International. She's a woman that has handled a team of 100 plus consultants and providing them with technical guidance. Welcome, Jyoti. It's a pleasure to have you with here today.
Thank you so much. That was such an overwhelming introduction. Thanks for that, Mamta. And I really look forward for this session. Thanks for inviting me over here. And
Absolutely. Our pleasure, Jyoti. Well, our second speaker for the session is Jasmine Kaur, the engagement manager at EXL Services. Jasmine comes with more than 11 years of experience in banking and finance that covers credit risk analytics, loss forecasting, predictive modeling, retail and customer level scorecard monitoring, regulatory model development, validation, and documentation. She's worked with brands like Fidelity and Equifax prior to joining EXL, where she was leading a team of 23 consultants by mentoring and providing them with technical guidance. Welcome, Jasmine. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today as well.
Thanks a lot for such a nice introduction. I'm looking forward to this session and share my thoughts and views on how we can break barriers in STEM.
Amazing. So, without further ado, the stage is all yours.
all right. Thank you. So let me start presenting my screen and just let me know if it is clearly visible and I'm audible.
Yeah, it's perfect, Jyoti. We can see the screen, we can hear you loud and clear.
Right. Thank you so much. So, audience, first of all, thank you so much. Thanks, Mamta, for inviting me for such a wonderful forum. It is a very prestigious platform, and I'm really overwhelmed to share my thoughts on breaking the barrier in STEM. Okay, so in another 30 minutes, we would try to cover what exactly STEM is, how it has been used, why it has been used, and how important it is that we should be aware about it. Then we will briefly talk about the understanding the barriers which are there while the topic of the session is women empowerment, Nari Shakti. So we really want to understand that how women face certain glass ceiling or the kind of biasness in those areas which is called STEM. And first, we would like to understand what are the barriers, then how we can build up some strategies, how government can help us out to break those barriers, how we ourselves can help us out, how organization where you are working, they can help us out to break those barriers. Then towards the last half of the session, we would talk about a couple of success stories. There are a lot of examples where women are doing a tremendous job in this area. And we would like to highlight some of the role models so that they can influence our life on day-to-day basis. And we can also try to reach over there in certain amount of time. And then we would take certain keyaways from this session. And this would be a closing of a session. Okay, so Mamta, as you have already introduced both of us really well, so I would briefly, just give you a glance through of my journey. I have been a graduate from Kurukshetra in computer science. So technologies throughout since my childhood, I did a lot of coding. I ran a couple of programs. I was a certified database administration as well. Then I moved into analytics industry, and where I learned a lot of good things, lot of new things, where how we can stay ahead of technology, how we can learn on daily basis, and how we can move forward. So this is a brief introduction about myself, and then I would hand it over to Jasmine for her quick round of introduction, and then we would move to
Sure.
the session.
Sure. Thanks, Jyoti. So, as Mamta has already introduced me as well, so apart from what is written in this presentation, I would like to update and let everyone know that I am a graduate in economics, graduate and postgraduate in the field of economics. And even I have been into coding ever since I have joined the analytics field. And the mindset that people have that men are better coders than women, I really don't believe that, and it really boosts my confidence that I can work in the similar industry. And I have got a great opportunity with my current organization to enhance my skills and break those stereotypes, lead the team, and be a successful woman in the corporate sector.
Yeah.
Over to you, Jyoti.
Certainly, Jasmine, I cannot agree more than you have been doing really well. And it is evident to tell that, in an industry where we consider that men are better coder, they are more acquainted with technology. Jasmine and other female leaders in the organization brings a lot of value and just try to break that stereotype. Okay, thank you. And now we would like to talk about STEM, what exactly STEM is. So this is a very, jazz word in today's area where we talk about STEM, but do we really understand what exactly it is? So generally, we use STEM as an umbrella term. This is a broader group of courses which comes under STEM. And those curriculums are basically designed keeping that mind that we are progressing with the ever changing technology, and we have to be make the pace with this ever changing technology. So STEM is as I mentioned, it's a group of courses where science is one of the predominant courses, where students or the aspiring candidates would get to learn in a systematic way with the help of some experiments, some observation, and certain analysis. So it could be physics, it could be chemistry, it could be biology. It all covers under science, basically under science vertical. And then if I move to technology, technology is slightly a complex mechanism to understand the application which comes into daily purpose use. It could be development of tool, development of new technology, development of writing new codes. It could be application development. It could be software development. So that kind of things would cover under technology. Then E stands for engineering. It is slightly more advanced version of technology, or so there is a lot of overlap between all of the things. There is a lot of gray area that do we need to keep something under technology or engineering, but it is a more of a, the entire ecosystem which covers the application of mathematics, the application of new algorithms, principles, designing a new tools, designing new devices, and structuring them in a right manner. Now, M stands for mathematics, economics, stats, everything is covered under mathematics. So it is more about numbers, how you are well versed with numbers, how you can create insights from these numbers, how you can talk about dimensions of these numbers, how you can quantify the things, how you can give a structural logic to all these numbers and everything, how these numbers are related to each other. So this is covered as an umbrella term called mathematics, be it stats, be it economics, it would all come under mathematics. So I hope we are clear with the definition of STEM by now. And it is really important to be a part of these curriculums so that you are ahead of the field. You are, you can carry a successful career, your professional growth cannot be hampered if you have aced these technologies or these study classes. Okay, now let's quickly go ahead and understand the significance of diversity and inclusion. So, as we know, that these kind of technology or the science field are dominated by male. So it is a very, I would say, a gender biased uh, spectrum of work. However, in the recent past, we have seen that line has been blurred like anything. We get to see a lot of women entering into heavy lifting job where technology is predominantly matter the career pathing. So it is really important to understand that how there is a biasness and how we can mitigate those biasness by empowering ourselves. So if a person who is bringing a lot, so it's not majorly about the male female, it is more about, the biasness could be for any race, any religion, but we should make sure that we should have enough of diversity so that we can break the barriers and we can move ahead. So economic competitiveness is another thing. Once we have all kind of people coming together from different castes, different religion, different creed, be it male, be it female, it would give us a better and a broader perspective. We can solve the problem in minutes. So if we have a lot of representation from different areas, then the perspective would be wider, the perspective would be broader, and you will get to know a different solution of a single problem. You would get to know different cultures if you have a lot of diversity in the system. You can solve the problem which are global in nature, because if you have people representing from the different areas, different parts, different geographies, then they would bring different perspective, and the problem solving could be as simple as a cakewalk. And once we have different set of people, then the ideas, the innovation in that, bringing more value, it is kind of, the sky is the limit. And a lot of people bring a lot of different perspective, different lenses, and it acts as a catalyst to solve your any of the business problem. So once, as I mentioned, that once we have a diverse workforce, if we have, women leader in the program, so it is quite likely that, they would bring more perspective. They would solve the problem. The way they look at the problem from the different lenses, and they provide different solution. So it is, once we have a diverse talent, then it is easy to attract more talent, and it is easy to retain the talent well within the system, because people are comfortable with the diversity. So it is really important to have diversity in the system so that we can retain the talent, we can attract more talent. Because see, at times, once you get to see that in a certain workforce, there is a certain minority be it female minority, be it any race minority, then it is quite likely that female leaders would not join that group because they are not comfortable in that group. So diversity brings a lot of hidden values which are difficult to quantify. However, it brings a lot of qualitative values. And once we have diversity in the system, the morale of people will always be boosted up. You would get to interact with different people, you would get to know different perspective, you would understand the different mindset well, and hence you would keep yourself upgrading. You would get a different perspective, you would become a more polished individual. And same, we bring a lot of culture together, we try to respect each other. For example, let's say in our group we are few of the person coming from Punjab, few of the person coming from Calcutta, few of the person coming from the southern part of the India. So hence we get to know, how diverse or how enriched our culture is, and we try to respect each other emotions or their beliefs in certain culture, and it gives a promotion in terms of the longevity of the employee in the organization, and it gives a comfortable environment for anybody to part of it. Again, if we have a diversity in nature, we can understand the customer problem really well. So why it is important to understand customer problem? Because in most of the business, customer is the center of attraction. If your customer is happy, your business would grow. So it is really important to understand the beliefs, the dialogues, the dialect of the customer so that we can give a tailored made solution to that particular customer. And once we have diversity in the workplace, then we can provide a better solution. We can understand their thought process well, we can understand their belief well, and there is no barrier in booming your business if you bring the diversity in the workplace. Again, as I mentioned, that people from different culture, different beliefs, different uh, race, they bring a lot of different perspective to look the same problem from a different lenses, and hence they are able to provide most appropriate solution, quicker, faster, and better solution to any of the business problem. So it is always encouraged to have a diversification in the workplace so that we can solve the business problem in a right manner, we can tailor it in a right manner, we bring a lot of talent together, and we give multiple solution to the single problem, and it would certainly boost up your business like anything. So here, now in the next section, we would quickly talk about certain barriers which specifically female leaders or female employees feel. So it is important to understand the barrier first, and then we would talk about the strategies, how we can break these glass ceiling. So one is underrepresentation. So if I look at I come from an engineering background. I did engineering and computer science. So in our class, we had a ratio of uh, 1/3 ratio, which is close to 30. We were 20 girls in a class strength of 60. And that I'm talking about the computer science, where the strength was the maximum. If I talk about other technical branches like civil, like mechanical, in the entire batch, we had one single girl in mechanical. So it was very difficult for her to mingle up with the other classmates. So every time she used to feel cornered, she used to feel, lonely. So these are kind of barriers, because if we see that in the existing group, the number of girls are really less, then parents would not encourage the girls to get into that stream. So this is one of the variation. So at current situation, we have only 1/3 of female worker in these kind of jobs, roles where STEM is important. So that is one of the barriers that we can see even sitting in 2023. So this is something which we need to break in coming years. Another is stereotype or the biasness. I'm not sure why, but we conveniently assume that male are better coder or Asians are good at maths, right? So these are kind of stereotype which we have developed in our head consciously or unconsciously, maybe with help of some examples, because it is quite likely. So why we say that, males are better coder? Because if you see a strength of any of the class in STEM specifically, there are just 30% girls and rest 70% are boys, right? So the data which we are looking at is itself biased, and hence we have developed the perception that males are better coder because the number of males are high, and hence our data points are biased, our data is biased towards male, and hence we have perceived, we have developed that perception that there is something, the quality of the coding is vary between certain gender. However, if you close your eye, if you think, then coding has nothing to do with gender, it's a brain game, right? Then work-life balance. So be it developed country, be it underdeveloped country, or be it any of the developing nation, just like India, we get to see that female are considered to be the uh, pillar of the family. She is the one who is responsible to taking care of their kids, taking care of home chores, taking care of the elderly parents, both side of parents. So female life is slightly difficult in terms of work-life balance. So they cannot spend unlimited amount of time doing the office work because they need to prioritize other things as well. So there have to be, we need to raise our boys in such a manner that they can understand that it's a kind of a 50-50 share, and we can get to see more representation from the female in the industry. Unwelcoming environment. As I mentioned that even I have shared my share of challenges once I started my journey, once I started my professional life. So people used to, one of my colleague, we used to sit together, and although I used to be the subject matter expert, but I have seen that people are more comfortable taking a guidance from a male colleague. So they feel that male can give a better answer. So this is what we have seen. People are not at times receptive of the thought that they are being led by a female. So these are kind of unwelcoming environment which we need to break in the workplace. And organization like EXL are doing a tremendous job where the female leaders, the number of female leader, the ratio of female leader is comparatively much higher as compared to other organizations. So these are a couple of things which we should take care of. And this is how we can encourage diversity and inclusion in our workplace. Limited access to opportunity. So these are again some of the common barriers. So people or the parents do feel that we need to send out girl to a different city, different college. So there are less access of opportunity well within their comfort zone. So this is another area where government is already working. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. There are a lot of campaigns which are running. And again, once we get to see a role model, then we try to aspire to be there. So at this point of time, as the representation of female in STEM is low, and hence the role models are also, very countable in numbers. So once we get to see more role models, we will see a boost in our career. We would get to see a shift in parents' mentality, and hence we can try to remove these barrications as well. So with this, I would hand over the stage to Jasmine to take care of the rest of the session.
Thanks, Jyoti. So hi everyone. I would now be covering the another two legs of understanding barriers. I'll start with unconscious bias and its impact on diversity. So first, let me explain what is unconscious bias. Unconscious bias is something that is an automatic reaction that is triggered when we see a particular gender or a caste or a community, and it's something which is to a great extent influenced by how to what culture we belong, what is our peer group, how we were brought up, the society we live in. And this unconscious bias, to a great extent, leads to stereotypes and a decision making, which leads to impacting the recruitment process, the performance evaluation, and a lot of other opportunities because of this bias in the corporate sector. It's like we have this mindset that promoting a woman to a senior leadership or providing a larger team to a woman might not be that fruitful or effective because she might be having other responsibilities, or she might not be able to take it up as efficiently as a male employee in the organization. Because of these blind spots in the decision making, we are actually overlooking a lot of qualified candidates, which further creates and hinders the diversity which should ideally be there in an organization. This further impacts the innovation because, as Jyoti has also mentioned in the previous slides, having a diverse workforce in an organization is really, really important, because if we are limited to a homogeneous set of group, people would have similar kind of thinking, people would have a similar kind of approach to a problem statement, to a solution. And without that innovation, it would really, the company would not be able to outperform. It won't be able to reach its full potential when promoting a particular project, or when achieving a particular milestone for a particular project, or any achievement that a company wants to hold in a particular field. Because of this lack of diversity, there are a lot of repercussions that an organization may face. First and foremost is the missed opportunities and a different perspective. As I mentioned in the previous slide, because of the limited diversity, there are limited scope of ideas, solutions, leading to a hindering innovation and the problem-solving skills. Further, it can also impact the reputation of an organization, because the organization would then be known for not having the diverse workforce, or not promoting or providing sufficient support that is expected out of the organization as a whole. It would create a negative brand image for the organization, and further, having the same homogeneous group would lead to flawed decision making, because we are again limiting ourselves and our potential with same set of thinking, with same set of group, thereby limiting the diversity and limiting ourselves in that potential. Next slide, Jyoti. So we have understood the barriers which we as women, or maybe other minority groups, face in the field of STEM in corporate culture, and how significance of diversity can play a pivotal role in the field of education, in field of STEM, in the corporate culture. Now that we have understood all those barriers and the significance of diversity, I will now be focusing on how we can address that bias specifically in the workplace. And in this direction, government organizations can play really a pivotal role in promoting that diversity. There are many organizations which now have implemented a diverse recruitment process where the HR policies have ensured that they have to recruit a particular percentage of a female employee or a particular percentage of a minority group. And this has gone a long way in promoting diversity at workplace. Organizations can can go a long way in training their employees that how diversity can play an important role. And there can be a lot of trainings where and providing better education in terms of how diversity can support the team or the project or the organization. Companies can provide flexibility specifically to the female employees, to young mothers, to new mothers, by providing the flexible working hours, by providing hybrid work schedules, by providing daycare facilities. There are a lot of companies that have tie-ups actually with the daycares like Clay or Max, where they are actually providing some portion of that fees of daycare and providing flexible working hours so that women as a whole can take their responsibility on the personal front, which of course is a very important thing to do as a female. And and not to let go of their career aspirations, providing this flexibility plays a really important role. Further, many companies also encourage mentorship, sponsorship, allyship. All three terms are connected and to some extent a little bit different. Mentorship is where companies can provide a senior leader, specifically in minority group, be it a female senior leader, and they can connect them to the junior folks to provide them guidance. Young employees who are not really sure of what to do about their career, if they're just landed in the corporate culture, what next they can do, how to grow up in that ladder, in that hierarchy. Providing sponsorship is maybe in the senior leader, in a senior role, maybe there would be folks who really have trust in the potential of some particular young employees, and organizations can forge this plan of supporting those young employees through the senior leaders. And allyship is more about a group of women in an organization where you can go up to and express your feelings, and if you're facing any challenges, you can, without any fear of judgment, can go and share your feelings and thoughts about the challenges that you're facing at the workplace. Last and the most important thing that currently many organizations are doing and employers should do is the need to recognize that the gap in the career pathing, those gap of years in a resume of a female, be it at a young level or at a senior level, should not be penalized. And because there are a lot of other responsibilities due to other obligations, there are cases that we as women have to drop our career aspirations for a few years, and that should not act as a hindrance if they want to join back the workforce. The other area is promoting education and outreach, where at the young age itself, we have a lot of programs by the government to promote that education specifically for female children. There is National Bal Vigyan Association, where there are programs and competitions for a female child. There is a group called Girls Who Code, which equips coding skills specifically in in young girls. There are many mentorship programs by Indian National Academy of Engineering. There are IIT alumni outreach programs specifically organized for young female aspiring engineers. There are federal agencies like National Science Foundation and Institute of Health, which supports STEM education if they are provided with the proper proposal and plan. There are nowadays corporates which are providing grants for higher education as a part of their social responsibility. In many IITs, we have offer-based merit scholarship programs specifically for female students. So all these initiatives in education through government and as well as in the corporate sector is has is bringing a change, and there is a long way to go by supporting young female in this direction of education and workplace. Now that we have gone a long way in understanding how we can break those barriers, what are those barriers, and what we as the organization or what government can do to promote in breaking those barriers, I would now like to quickly cover the success stories. Uh, we all know Tessie Thomas. She is known as a Missile Woman of India, and she was the first woman to lead an Indian missile project. She's played a pivotal role in developing the missile system, and she has break those stereotypes, showcasing the woman's capability. Next is Sudha Murthy. We all know her. She is the co-founder of Infosys, and she was the first female engineer to be hired in the automotive manufacturing industry, which is a male-dominated industry. She has been a great advocate for women's rights and the development of education. Next is Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. We all know her, right? She is the founder and chairperson of Biocon. She has played a pivotal role in transforming the pharmaceutical industry and making the healthcare solutions affordable. And she has contributed great to the treatment of cancer and diabetes. So these women are acting as a role model for young females, even for senior matured females in any field of education, be it corporate, be it research. And as Jyoti also mentioned, because the role models are less, but we still have few role models like this, and there are many more. Of course, in the interest of time, we cannot cover other role models, but we do have a lot of female who have done and achieved a tremendous growth in their particular field. They have renowned, they have gained that name and has done achieved that milestone. And these women are acting as role model for women with aspiring careers and expectations to climb that ladder. So that's all. In the conclusion, I would like to summarize what all we have covered so far. As part of key takeaways, we have understood that representation really matters. Making an inclusive learning environment by promoting mentorship and role models at workplace and in education will help in addressing the unconscious bias and conscious bias, addressing the stereotypes. It would also provide us the networking opportunities, and it would play a great role in providing equal opportunities in STEM. That's all. Thanks for this opportunity to share our thoughts, views, and it's a great platform. Jyoti, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jasmine, and thanks, EduBridge team. So
Then if you still have like a few minutes, I think we have like one or two questions from the audience if you're okay to take them.
Yeah, certainly, Mamta. We can take the questions right away. And I've also shared my screen where both of our email IDs are mentioned. So in case you have further questions, feel free to drop us a note. We would be happy to take care of it.
That's far too kind. Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you, Jasmine. So for the audience here, you can save this information. You can reach out to Jyoti or Jasmine at any time. In fact, and they'd be happy to help. Please take advantage of this because it's never, for our audience, it's just too much of just the start of their journey. I believe we have about 200 people, 215 people who are in the session right now, and most of them, are fresh graduates who are just starting with their careers. So mentors who are at this level, somebody like Jyoti or Jasmine, of course, your journey is going to be a prime example for them. You can definitely become mentors to a lot of these people in the audience, and we've had excellent sessions in the past with a lot of EXL volunteers as well, and we continue to do that. We have a lot of buddy mentoring sessions that happen, with these volunteers as well. So this is really, really generous of you, very kind of you to share this information with us and the audience today. For our audience, please take advantage of this and just save this information for any kind of questions that you have in the future. So just to identify, we just have two questions here, which I thought we need to answer live. I would like to start with a question from Pavitra here, which says, what do you identify as the key STEM disciplines in your day-to-day role? How do you use them, and what difference does it make to our community?
Okay, I'll try to take it. So, Pavitra, this is really a wonderful question. And this is not certainly in our day-to-day personal life as well as professional life. So first, try to ace something. For example, let me start with the, let's say, household thing. So try to ace something. For example, let's say cooking. Okay, once you have aced it, then try to delegate it. You are going to generate the employment. It's not worth investing time in those repetitive kind of work. So try to delegate your work, try to generate employment. So be it, any of the household work, starting from cooking, dusting, cleaning, washing, laundry, anything, delegate it to other people, generate the employment. Okay. So don't do those things. It's not because you don't want to do or you can't do. Yes, you can do, but you don't want to do. Okay. Because some person who is unskilled, he or she can do it in a better manner. So don't invest on those time or your time or energy on efforts on those things which are repetitive in nature. So I have given you some household examples. So same applies in your professional life. Ace something. Maybe it could be your SAS coding, it could be your whatever in area you are, be it modeling, be it AI, whatever it is. Once you aced it, start delegating it so that your hands are free. You can do something which is more important for you, which is something which can encourage you, which can fuel you. So this is how you can upgrade yourself. If you invest your time doing in repetitive things, you are not going to boost your career. So do away with repetitive things. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I think it does. To send a thumbs up to that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. So the next question we have here is from an anonymous attendee from one of our YouTube channels. This is also like from personal experience. So I'll just read the whole thing that they have shared over there. So this may not be restricted to STEM, but my little cousin brother asked me a question about a month ago that I still don't have the answer for. I want to know how you feel about it as women working in STEM for as long as you have. Why are women paid less than men for the same roles? Since women provide the same level of output as men and are accepting lesser pay than men, why don't all companies hire women exclusively for their requirements? Since it is less CTC. Now she's tried her best to answer these questions, but he wasn't convinced, and quite honestly, I wasn't either. So, I'm curious to know what you think about it.
So yeah, I
Very
agree
interesting
to a
perspective.
certain extent that women are paid less. I get to hear a lot, be it Bollywood industry, be it Hollywood industry, be it STEM. I get to hear a lot that women are less paid. But once I look at the data, because I have access to data of my organization, and once I look at my data for year-end calibration, I really don't apply any filter. We don't have any filter where it is segregatedly mentioned whether it's a male or a female. We just look at the level, the designation, the job responsibility, and basis that we pay. So I know that in the industry, there is a discrimination. However, I have been part of EXL for 10 years. So this is my, a sphere which I'm part of. This is my ecosystem. And I really don't see any discrimination. We don't have any filter at all where we can apply a male, female. So everybody is equally paid as per their designation. For example, if you are working in a capacity of a manager, then you would have we try to minimize the range of the discrepancy, be it male, be it female. We have a certain range of a manager level and we pay as per that. So we never look into male female category at all. So either I am blessed, I have not seen that discrimination, but I get to hear a lot of news about that. So my suggestion is, and answer to your second question, that why don't we hire all females? Then again, the diversity is really important. That was the total essence of the session. Once we have the diversity, we will have a lot of ideas, lot of culture, lot of perspective, lot of lenses. Wonderful solution, different solution, easy solution. So diversity is really important. We should not have all female, then it would be a difficult situation to be part of. It is not welcoming for the rest of the community. So I won't encourage that kind of a culture. However, I have not seen discrimination in salaries, at least in EXL.
Perfect. So, Jasmine, would you like to add to that?
Yes, so Jyoti has answered it very well. But yeah, I would like to add one point here, that the question that person was asking, that why there is diversity in salaries or in the income that women earn in comparison to men. So again, it's that unconscious bias which
Correct.
is in the mind, inculcated and rooted to such great extent that it's very difficult to take it out now. And it's known that, and I won't say it's a fact, but yes, it happens, and we have seen it, that women are underpaid, and it's because of that bias that I spoke about in a few slides earlier. And it's not about today; it has been happening from centuries.
That's right.
So I don't know how we can take it out, whether we would be able to take it out, but we can. Organizations, corporates, government can play and go a long way in breaking that stereotype, removing that unconscious bias by providing equal opportunities to women, and by scrutinizing organizations which are doing that.
Yep, totally agree.
Absolutely. Well, our audience does have other questions, but in the interest of time, it would be great if we can just email them to you, Jyoti and Jasmine, and if you would be kind enough to answer as many of them as you possibly can in the time that you have. So thank you for this amazing session, and I'm sure we were able to set such great examples for all the women in the audience, and for all the others to realize that it's not that difficult to change mindsets and to be more inclusive in our efforts in our day-to-day lives. So thank you once again, Jyoti and Jasmine. You can exit the webinar now, and while we continue with the next set of sessions in the day. So have a great day ahead, and happy Republic Day in advance for tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Samantha.
Take care.
Thanks,
Wonderful
everyone.
audience.
Thank you so much.